my name's Andy Palmer, and my wife Sylvia and I run Tandem Gallery in Bakersville, North Carolina. We have a show coming up April 1st, and it's with Bede Clarke, which, here's an example of Bede's work, and another person, Reilly. Bede and Lewis actually know each other very well. Lewis is a younger potter, whereas Bede's been around for a long time. And Lewis kind of thinks of Bede as his mentor, and so they live in the same area. Both of them are in Missouri. Bede is a teacher at Missouri State, and Lewis actually works at Kansas City Clay Guild. We met him when we went to an Unsika years ago. And nice people, loved him. Things to know about their work. Bede has a lot of different styles. He works in low fire clays, high fire clays, electric firings, wood firings. Here's an example, and this is the work that's in a show, is of a wood firing piece. Very highly glazed, hit with the wood. You can see the saturation of the glaze just dripping down. A lot of his pieces, he likes to show the actual construction elements. They have a uniqueness, like a roughness about them, that really is conducive for wood firing because it catches these glaze particles and it kind of has a nice drip and a feel to it and makes it really juicy looking. He can get multiple effects depending on slips. So here's a darker bowl, and you can see the seashells, which he stacked inside. So on the foot ring, you can see like a little light spots, and they would be sitting on the seashells. So they would be stacked like this. And what that does is, because it's in a wood-fired kiln, the atmosphere of the wood ash and the glazing is all natural. If these things touch, they'd end up sticking together. So you always have to stilt things, and oddly enough, seashells, which are basically a calcium carbonate, work perfectly because they don't fuse anything and they just dissolve once the firing's over. The effects he gets are just beautiful. You've got some flashing where you can see the nice rosy, rusty colors, and you've got that beautiful directional glaze. So you can kind of see where this thing was lined up in the kiln. Directional glaze means if I have a firebox here and my piece is here, wherever the highest glaze amount is what was closest to the flame. And that's how you get this beautiful transition. Here's a mug. And again, you can see how the ash glaze just drips right down as it accumulates on the rim and just falls through. Lewis is a much different kind of firing. Lewis is actually in a gas kiln. Wood kiln, gas kiln. The difference is atmosphere is going to be naturally created by the wood he uses. Lewis, the atmosphere is created because he actually fires with soda. So he turns a gas kiln on. As it starts raising in temperature, at some point and in multiple times, he introduces sodium bicarbonate, soda that you'd baking soda. And what happens is the soda combines with the particles in the clay to make a natural glaze. Now Lewis has developed his own clay bodies, and some of the attributes that are really unique to Lewis's stuff is this yellow, kind of the sparkly. This is something you really don't see very often. In fact, this is the only kind of work I've ever seen like this. And again, he makes his own clay bodies for it. He fires up to cone 11, which is extremely hot, and he holds it there. And that's how he gets, again, a directional, where the soda would have been introduced and hit here. But that's how he gets these effects. It's a little bit drier in certain spots and a little bit glossier in certain spots, but that variation is really a beautiful effect. He also deals a lot with flashing slips. Flashing slips are going to be things where the direction of the flame creates various changes in colors, especially with the bricks. So you can see how different these two clay bodies react in the same firing. Again, you can see the direction of where the soda was introduced and accumulates and goes across like the flame would go across it. Same thing with wadding. Here's wadding marks to elevate it, because soda would make all of his pieces stick right to the kiln shelf, so you've got to elevate them. Beautiful work, just very, very thoughtful in the forms. Nice proportions. The way the fingers go through this, the lid, even on the inside of the teapot, he has a filter built in. Just really nicely made. So these two gentlemen are having a show April 1st in Tandem Gallery. Everything will be online. We do a newsletter, so we'll open it up to you and you'll be able to see and purchase whatever you'd like. So thank you for watching and have a wonderful afternoon.